What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on this sad Monday. I don't know how many of you want to relive this, but we got to do it. We got to know what happened. We're going to take a look at the Miami Dolphins comeback against the Baltimore Ravens, focusing on the blown coverages, blown assignments, all that good stuff, lack of a pass rush. We're going to get into all of it here. We're going to take a look at all the plays that kind of let the Miami Dolphins eke this one out. A couple of things just to highlight. Tua was absolutely insane in the second half, 24 of 30, 319 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's after the Ravens played quite well against him in the first half. The Ravens now have allowed the most yardage since 2021 in the fourth quarter. That's pass yards at 1,681 yards, and they've totaled the fourth fewest quarterback hits in the fourth quarter with just 36, really showing that this isn't just a secondary issue, it's also a pass rush issue. They're interconnected. But, as always, let's go to the film. Let's see what happened. Let's break down these plays. After Lamar Jackson makes it 35-14 with his 79-yard touchdown. So I didn't include the Mike Gesicki touchdown that had the Ravens drop 9 into coverage and only rush 2. Could have included it, but just decided not to for this one. But we're starting here. We're going to see a couple of big plays that set up the Dolphins' first touchdown and this wacky comeback that they had. So let's start here. We'll run it through, and then we'll come back, break it down. So it's going to be a completion to Jalen Waddle. Wide open there. Get some yak. So there, basically, the Ravens are playing in what appeared to me to be cover 3. So you're getting, one zone, 2 zone here, and Jad dropping back in the 3rd zone. And you get very little depth from your linebackers here. So you get Queen, who's just shallow here. You have Bynes right here, who's also shallow. You got Clark out there, Humphrey out there. This also could have been a type of cover, like cover 6, the quarter half. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure it out, but basically they're just undercutting the zone here, and this just creates a huge no man's land that Tua throws open really well. Really saw it coming. You get absolutely no depth from your linebackers here, and the seam is taking away the deep middle. You're going to cut that right under into the coverage no man's land. And there's nobody within 10 yards of him right here. So he's able to get the yak as well. So, big issue on the back end, just no pressure on Tua. See the play action here. There's nobody, right? Not even really, away comes at the end there, but it didn't even remotely disrupt the pass. So, just taking advantage of some soft zone coverage, and creating a seam for him. So this takes us into the next play, which you're going to see man coverage. And I want everyone to keep an eye on the boundary receiver, which is right here. Jalen Waddle is going to basically just run a drag, and that's Marcus Peters following him. So again, the Ravens are in man coverage here. And Waddle just outruns him. And so he catches it there, and I believe that's Marcus Williams. So Marcus Williams and Peters on him, and he's able to get some more yak. So he takes that up to there. They a couple more plays, they get on the goal line, and this is the one that really is frustrating. So this is the typical Ravens getting pressure but can't get a sack. So I want everyone to focus on Tua here before we look at the actual route that caught the touchdown. So he's going to drop back, and this was a beautiful move by Broderick Washington. Watch him stack Connor Williams the center, and then stack, shed. That's a perfect little swim move there to get around him, right up the middle, right over the center, and Tua just escapes. Has open room. He's left-handed, so he's rolling out here to his strong hand, and easy touchdown. So the touchdown actually came from the slot here, who starts doing a little out route, and then once Tua starts to roll, he just comes back this way with Pepe Williams following him. So, Pepe Williams allowed the touchdown, but this is just a tough coverage. So you look right there. Williams takes it away, and then he's literally, just focus here, he's literally just running away from Pepe Williams. And Tua finds him open. So pass rush has to get home. Credit Washington for a beautiful stack and shed, stack and swim. Look, ready again. Stack, swim, boom, I'm up the middle. but you gotta finish those. You gotta. Owe applying some pressure there at the end, but too little, too late. That brings us. I think this is the one. Yep. So that brings us. So now it's 21-20. Sorry, it's 35-21. The Ravens went out. They started with a 26-yard play to Devin Duvernay. They got to the fourth down that they failed on. So that was the one where I believe they were in field goal range. They could have kicked it. Either way, they failed on fourth down. Miami gets it back. This is on. So this is their first drive of that, or their first set of downs of that possession, and that's important because there were 2 incompletions before this. So the play we're watching right now is third down. It's 3rd and 10 because they had 2 incompletions, and they are going to score on a 48-yard touchdown. And right there you see Tyreek Hill get through. So, I mean, frustrating because, especially because you actually forced 2 incompletions. You're in 3rd and 10. You're feeling pretty good. So the question is what happened. So the Ravens are going to drop down into cover 3. You get one-third drop going here. You get Kyle Hamilton dropping into the deep 1/3 middle, and Marcus Peters is going to carry deep here. So as you can see, let's just see the coverage drop. Oh, sorry, Marcus Williams didn't drop it. The other deep third's over here. But you basically have Kyle Hamilton playing middle of the field here, and then he's in 1/3. So he's got 1/3 here, and you have a 1/3 from Peters here, and that's important because that's. So you see Peters get beat right there, and this is as Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill basically runs a really deep post, and so you'll see him bend it in towards the hash there where the ball gets thrown. So that's important because I want everyone to watch Kyle Hamilton against this guy right here who's going to run up and basically run a long in route, and right there. Kyle Hamilton bites on it, starts to step up. When he does that, Tyreek Hill starts to angle towards him. Now, Peters is at fault here too because he straight up let him by him, and you can see it on the other 1/3 here who didn't let him by him. So Peters isn't necessarily innocent in this all, but Kyle Hamilton bit on his zone. Look where Kyle Hamilton's aligned right now. If he continues to carry his zone and he knows Tyreek Hill's here, he's going to kind of be there to make a play on the ball. You're throwing into double coverage if you throw that. Then obviously behind the play, I think it's also important to look at the pass rush because the Ravens send 5. So you're going to get Owe and Queen drop here, but then they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your 5th guy. And it's just picked up really well by the Dolphins. Chase Edmonds comes across. But so the coverage issue here, they're playing cover 3, and Kyle Hamilton bites on this breaking en route that was deep down the field. And like I said, it's right there where he starts to step up. So that's just one of those things. You can't bite on that. He has to know Tyreek Hill's there. He has to be aware. Like, I'd way rather give this one up than give up a touchdown. So just rookie learning curve. But also Marcus Peters needs to carry that a little deeper, like you're seeing, like I said, from this other deep 1/3. So Peters has to get deeper. My guy Michael Crawford made a good point. He was wondering if because they're sending 5, he's playing a little cheater on this cloud. So I mean, the pass rush isn't innocent in this all. So I mean, you can see what I mean. There's a multitude of issues here, but I think the primary issue is Kyle Hamilton can't step up on that play. That brings us to. Where do we get to with this next one? Right, this is the 60-yarder. So after this one, after that play, it's now 35-28, and Baltimore goes 3 and out, getting a defensive holding call. They got some yardage, but then on this play, so Ravens have to punt, get rid of the ball. And this one's frustrating again because this is 3rd down again for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins are in 3rd and 6 right now. And the tough part of this coverage that we need to focus on is that's Marcus Williams and that's Kyle Hamilton. So there's no deep safety back here. You got Peters, Pepe Williams, and Jalen Armour-Davis right there. So let's see what happens in the actual coverage. Let's play it. So you got Tyreek Hill literally just running by Jalen Armour-Davis, and you have Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams, 2 safeties following Jalen Waddle. and this is where this is a tough one. So my opinion on this play, because of the way, watch the way Jalen Armour-Davis plays this. You can't convince me that he just got caught flat-footed against Tyreek Hill. I think he's fully expecting someone behind him for safety help, and I think he thinks, well, I think it's supposed to be cover 6. So in cover 6, it's called quarter half. So you would have 3 guys deep, one covering half the field, the other 2 covering quarters, and that's why it's quarter half. So he's expecting some sort of safety help here. I've seen people speculate it could be cover 2. Same idea, though. He thinks there's going to be safety help behind him, because watch how he plays this. He just lets him go. And he doesn't really panic until the ball's like in the air. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where Jalen Armour-Davis has to be completely out of his mind to play that type of coverage against Tyreek Hill. So he fully seemed to be, because in cover 6, if he has the deep safety here, he's playing this flat coverage like this. So he would be in his zone if that's the coverage, but it looks like one of the safeties wasn't where they were supposed to be. And I'm not convinced they were like, let's use Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams to double up. So at the end of the play, it looked like everyone was looking at Kyle Hamilton. It's obviously very hard to say. Seems like Kyle Hamilton was in the wrong here. I'm wondering if Kyle Hamilton should have had this deep half for the safety coverage, and Jalen Armour-Davis was passing it off to him. So again, I mean, at the end of the day, does it really matter? No, but it's just another blown coverage, huge communication error. They seem to continually happen. It's frustrating to see. So now we're at 35-35. The Ravens get the 16-yard completion to Mark Andrews. Then they get a PI from Isaiah Likely. That leads to the field goal. So the Dolphins are driving, and this is what kind of I picked this. They get a couple big plays. This is leading up to the go-ahead touchdown, but this was probably the most frustrating one to me. So this is going to be a run play to Chase Edmonds that he takes for 28 yards. So they're going to run split zone with their offense, or with their offense here. You see the motion man's going to go across and pull Pepe Williams. They're going to run zone steps to the offensive line's right. Mike Gesicki's going to go that way. That's important because it pulls Chuck Clark out of this gap. They have Owe in here as the Sam. They have Queen in as the rush linebacker. Justin Houston's inside. So this also makes you wonder, are they playing? And Kyle Hamilton's right here as the dime backer, and he's blitzing off the edge. So let's run it forward. So you see Chuck Clark. So this is the important key. Chuck Clark follows Gesicki because it is in man coverage, which I don't really fault Clark for. But you have Queen and Hamilton, your edge and your dime backer, taken completely out of the play. And let's look at the defensive line. Campbell's going to go up this way. Robert Hunt seals him. It's really Washington has to make some sort of play here. This is Liam Eichenberg jumps him. He has to get across his shoulder, and he just doesn't, and that's what opens the gap. So, I mean, weird kind of defensive alignment. They're blitzing Kyle Hamilton off the edge. They're dropping Owe here, so it's another one of those things. It's a 5-man rush with Hamilton blitzing. They basically, with Clark following Gesicki on the split zone, they just have no linebacker in the middle of the field. So, that's a tough one, but Broderick Washington doesn't even really get a play on him. He didn't control his gap at all. So that gets them up into this area where Jalen Waddle is just going to do what he does and beat Jalen Armour-Davis. So let's watch this in pain. And so it's just kind of he basically runs a little bit of a whip route. So he's going to kind of go out here, whip, and then bring it back inside. Watch it again. He uses a bit of a pick there, and Jad gets up for the ball but can't make a play on it. So obviously very frustrating. I'm going to wrap it up here really quickly. So, I mean, there's a lot that we saw here. You've seen some blown coverages. You've seen some pass rush deficiencies. I mean, it's all part of it. They just had really undisciplined defense. Their guys aren't winning one-on-ones. Guys seem confused out there. It's becoming a bit of a systemic problem. So that's kind of the breakdown of what caused the big plays, which I think is important. For who's at fault, I mean, you heard Kyle Hamilton talk about it himself. He said, there were some miscommunications, so he kind of owned up to it already. You also heard John Harbaugh in the post-game presser, or sorry, not the post-game presser, in today's presser. He referred to young players missing their assignments, and I don't want to, I know a lot of people are coming down hard on Jalen Armour-Davis. He did just lose the game-winning touchdown there. That's a tough one. I just don't think he blew the coverage. I think one of those safeties was supposed to be deep. I can't fathom that he would have played that type of coverage if he had the deep 1/3, 1/4 of the field, whatever it is. There's no way he got caught that flat-footed. So, Kyle Hamilton has a lot to look at in the film room, in my opinion. So, let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. As always, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.